Okay, peeps, welcome back. So today we're going over our daily trade on oil. This is going to be the micro crude oil futures contracts. So let's get into it. Now, before we go into the actual trades themselves, for those of you who are curious about futures, if it's something you want to do, full time, part time, swing trading, whatever, I would first recommend, not financial advice, that you look into what futures is. That's the first thing. You need to understand what it is, how it works, how the roll dates work, the expiry dates, what a futures contract actually is, who the buyers and sellers are, stuff like that. And then find a platform. And secondly, after that, develop a strategy that is effective and gives you an edge over the market. But do understand that 90 to 95% of traders lose money. Most people that trade do not make money long term. So, with that being said, let's get into the content. So, as you guys can see on the trading platform here, I have the 15-minute time frame pulled up here. This is the crude oil forward month on micro crude oil. The ticker symbol is MCL. The full size contract is CL. And as you guys can see, we have 5 contracts trading. We have our strategy here. Basically, the strategy is a 3-to-1 risk rewards. So we're looking to make roughly about 100 ticks of profit with a 30 tick risk. And we'll get into this, what the strategy is exactly later when we do some live trades. Unfortunately, the software we're using right now does not have the capacity to record beyond 30 minutes. So we can't really use that to show you any live trades right now. We're going to have to find some other software specifically for this reason. So anyways, as you guys can see here, we got a break of this downtrending trend line here. As you guys can see, once it sold below these EMAs, it pretty much just kept selling off, came back up, got rejected, sold off again, and bounced. And as soon as it cracked that trend line, and we were actually a little bit late to this, so we didn't end up getting in until roughly about somewhere in here, I think. Yeah, on this candle, somewhere in here on this candle, once we got the confirmation above the EMAs. But ideally, we would have gotten in on this candle right here at roughly about 74.20 and pretty much rode it to the top. That would have given us our 100 ticks right there. Do keep in mind that even though we aim for 100 ticks, not every trade is going to give us this, especially with the EMA strategy that we use, but we use it in confluence with something else. So we'll show you that in a minute. So basically our trade was, okay, we cracked this downtrend line. We got a candle close, a big, strong green candle close above the EMAs. That confirmed bullish. We got in a little bit late. So basically we said, okay, we're going to get in right here. It's still pretty close to the EMAs. We will set our stop down somewhere below the EMAs, and then we'll just let it ride. And once it gets to a certain point in profit, we'll move our stop up. So that's pretty much what we did. And we moved our stop up to break even, if I remember correctly here, and then the markets came back down. We didn't get our first partial fill, unfortunately, and the markets came back down and stopped us out for break even, so that kind of sucked. So we only made like a couple bucks on that trade, basically just made enough to cover the cost of commissions. And then we shorted right here at 75.08. I believe it was actually on this this red candle, right? Or sorry, no, it's not the red candle. The green candle we shorted right here. And it looks, it looked to us on the charts like it was the pre-entry. We'll go over that in a minute, but it did end up working out. So we got short 5 contracts at 75.08 per barrel. And as you guys can see, it came down. We hit 74.56, so that was our first take profit. We made money on that. We moved our stop to break even long before the first 2 contracts got closed out. And then as soon as we got the confirmation below the EMAs here, we slowly started moving our stops, our remaining 3 stops down to kind of lock in more and more profit as the price action was going lower. And then we kind of just let it ride for a little bit because we were thinking, okay, at this point, we're going to get the full trade. If we don't, we get stopped out for maybe like, I don't know, a 40, 50 tick profit. We might make like a couple $100 or something like that. So all in probably about 300 if it doesn't go in our direction. But it did. It took a while. It was a real slow grind to get down there, but we did eventually get the full 100 ticks. As you guys can see, entry 75.08. The target fill 74.06. which made us, I believe, roughly around a total profit of, I think, $400. So as you guys can see here on the trade performance on the day, this is today. This is live, just so y'all know. This is not like some kind of screenshot or something. This is the real deal. So we made $410 on the short side and $10 on the long side. Now, with that being said, we're going to go into the charts and show you guys exactly what we were looking at here. So this is kind of what the chart looks like when we trade oil. We trade based on the 15-minute time frame. We decide to set up our support and resistance based on hourly time frames, as you guys can see here. It seems pretty obvious that we do that based on this resistance zone up here. So when we were looking at the charts, that's kind of how we saw it. We were like, okay, we got in long, I believe, shortly after the close above this red EMA here. As you guys can see, we got in just slightly above it, and then we rode up. It pulled back, which does happen sometimes. It doesn't always go straight up, and then we got stopped out for break evens. So at that point, we said, okay, then we think we were actually, I believe we were waiting for a pullback to like roughly around 40 or 74.41 or so, which is right in the middle of these EMAs. We did not get that fill, unfortunately. So we said at that point, okay, screw it. It's not giving us what we want. So the next potential entry area that we could take is up here in this resistance zone. The initial target that we were going to take was roughly about 75.15, but we decided once we saw that this thing was kind of already pulling back off this resistance, we just decided to go ahead and get in, and it worked out nicely. But our drawdown on that was only roughly, I think, like about 15 ticks or so. So not bad, not even close to our stop order that we had up there. And then the next thing that we were looking for after a rejection off this resistance zone was we were looking for basically a crack of this uptrending support here, which you guys can see we did get at 8:30 a.m. this morning. Once we got that, we knew that the trade was on, and we said, okay, we're just going to go ahead. Once it gets like 30, 40 ticks in profit, we're going to move our stop to break even. And then we hit our first profit target, and then pretty much just kept selling off from there. And so once it broke this uptrending line of support here, pretty much what we were thinking is, okay, it needs to get down to the EMAs. That's the first thing, so we can get our first profit target. And then we need to hold this downtrending line of support, and then we need to see it crack the red EMA here and all the other EMAs at that point. And then obviously have a triple death cross here on the EMAs, which you guys can see we did have just right before we hit our profit targets. So, and then the last signal that we would be looking for is to put our profit target somewhere around this macro support zone between $72.26 and $74. We had our final profit target just right above this macro support zone. So it actually worked out really, really nicely. As you guys can see here, we got filled on our last targets at 74.06. But the top of the macro support zone was right here at 74.01. So anyways, nice little profit on the day. We'll take it. If you guys want to see more content like this, please let us know in the comments below. If it's something you're interested to know more about, let us know. Maybe we'll try to do like some kind of educational series on what futures is and how it works and all that stuff if you don't want to take the time to do it yourself. So with that being said, hope y'all enjoyed the content. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see y'all later. Peace.